Help support worldsourcemedia.com, now, by becoming a Patreon on our website at worldsourcemedia.com. We have early report premieres that premiere way sooner than on our video channels. Now if you are seeking the latest trends in fashion, and electronics and gifts and more of the coolest things that you never knew existed at the best prices, please feel free to visit www.atthismall.com. Once again, that is www.atthis.mall.com. Now if you are seeking the truth or guidance or need a prayer request or studies, please visit followyeshwanow.com at www.follow.now.com. Trump plans to allocate $8 billion to fund border wall, source says. President Trump's plans to declare a national emergency in order to fund his long-promised border wall will enable his administration to move $8 billion from various federal agencies to fund the project, a senior administration official told Fox News late Thursday. The news comes as Trump is expected to sign a House border security package that provides $1.4 billion for the project, which is far below the $5.7 billion Trump insisted he needed and would finance just a quarter of the 200-plus miles he wanted to be defended against illegal immigrants. Sarah Sanders, the White House press secretary, said earlier Thursday that Trump will sign the spending bill and declare a national emergency at the same time Friday morning. The White House said Trump would sign the legislation but act unilaterally to get more funding, prompting condemnation from Democrats and threats of lawsuits from states and others who might lose federal money, or said Trump was abusing his authority. In an unusual joint statement, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, said such a declaration would be a lawless act, a gross abuse of the power of the presidency and a desperate attempt to distract from Trump's failure to force Mexico to pay for the wall, as he's promised for years. Congress will defend our constitutional authorities, they said. House Republican worries Trump's emergency declaration could help future DEM president enact Green New Deal. A Republican congresswoman says she is concerned that President Trump's declaration of a national emergency in order to fund a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border could be used as a legal precedent to allow a future Democrat president push through legislation such as the Green New Deal. Rep. Kathy McMorris Rodgers raised her concerns in a Twitter message Thursday. How would Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders use this precedent for a national disaster declaration to force the Green New Deal on the American people? Rodgers wrote, Trump has repeatedly demanded more than $5 billion for a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border and plans Friday to declare a national emergency in order to allocate $8 billion in federal funds toward the effort, a White House source told Fox News on Thursday. Democrats had refused the given to Trump's call for $5.7 billion in wall funding, with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejecting what she called Trump's immoral and hateful obsession with building the barrier. Rodgers is concerned that Democrats could use Trump's actions as a precedent to do the same for the Green New Deal. The legislation proposed by U.S. Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is designed to address inequality and climate change, which would be funded through a 70% tax on the nation's top earners. Schumer fumes over McConnell plan to bring Green New Deal to vote, calls it cynical ploy. What is the Green New Deal? A look at the economic and climate concept pushed by progressives. Beto O'Rourke says he absolutely supports destroying existing walls on southern border. Former Texas Democratic Rep. Beto O'Rourke said Thursday that he would absolutely support tearing down existing barriers along the U.S.-Mexico border, in a full-throated embrace of open borders rhetoric that has left conservatives wondering where other potential 2020 Democratic White House hopefuls stand on the issue. O'Rourke's comments came as the House and Senate passed a compromise spending bill that would partially fund President Trump's proposed border wall, to the tune of $1.4 billion. Trump, who had been pressing for billions more, has vowed to declare a national state of emergency to fund the remainder of the project. Amid the congressional debate, Texas GOP Rep. Dan Crenshaw wrote on Twitter earlier Thursday that he wanted O'Rourke to answer a simple question: if you could snap your fingers and make El Paso's border wall disappear, would you? He cited Department of Homeland Security, DHS, figures suggesting that illegal border crossings dropped sharply in El Paso following the construction of a wall there. MSNBC host Chris Hayes posed a version of that question to O'Rourke on air: would you, if you could, would you take the wall down here? Knock it down? Yes, Absolutely, answered Irk, who is widely thought to be a potential presidential candidate in 2020 but has not formally announced his intention to run. I'd take the wall down,